straight out of Silvis, Illinois, the Circle Jerks themselves, Jeg Scott and Zippy Gold.
All right, RC Dirtle friends, welcome back.
I'm Jegs.
I'm Zippy, and today we're going to talk about T-shirts. You guys need to get them. We have them. Just let us know. We're going to talk about dilution of racing. We're going to talk about winter racing. Races coming up this month of November. We're going to talk about a little bit of bearings, and we're going to talk about the Motorama race. Tips and tricks. We got some tips and tricks for you. Potential hot shoes for the month of November.
And then we're also going to bring up the Trophy Girl. We noticed somebody put up a little poll about that we thought that was pretty cool. Also want to go over talking about maybe some auction stuff, the auction sites on Facebook. And if you are planning on selling your stuff, what to do with that, and if you borrow stuff. And then I got all kinds of nice little things to talk about with everybody that posted on our Facebook page with the outside hobbies and what they're all into. And let me tell you, there's some busy folks.
Yes. No rest.
I think that's about it, my man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's roll into it. T-shirts. T-shirts. You guys want a T-shirt? Hit us up. Let us know. We'll get you one shipped out.
Don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
I tell everybody, as soon as they put them on, you're going up at least 2 points with the opposite sex.
And it's worth 2/10 on the racetrack. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
No, we do appreciate it.
Yeah. It's neat seeing everybody wearing them at the track and stuff.
That is definitely cool.
Pretty neat.
Yes. First topic we got. I want to talk about dilution of racing. How do you, what are the things that dilute racing at tracks or just attitudes in general, bad attitudes and stuff like that. So, just a friendly reminder, people being aware, and how that happens. So, first and foremost, bad attitudes at a racetrack, that could definitely dilute your numbers, people showing up to your race, right? So your numbers, your overall numbers, people.
Yep, for sure.
There's people always cussing or throwing remotes or just got a bad attitude and aren't nice. And, obviously, people aren't going to show up. If there's not a lot of people willing to give a helping hand, obviously not a lot of people are going to show up. So try to help somebody. I try to help somebody when I go to the racetrack. We all do. I know for the most part here. So that can definitely, steer people away.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people who are like me, like, just give me one reason to not want to come here because it's not fun,
Oh, yeah, the environment.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't take much for somebody to say, well, I'm just not going to go back there.
Well, like if a show takes too long to run,
oh,
right?
Man.
It makes it hard when you travel far when a show runs all day.
Mm-hmm.
We've had this talk before. I'm there to race. I'm there for all day.
For sure.
But if it takes 4 hours to go through one round.
Yeah, I mean, because you're always screaming for marshals, and then
that makes it so difficult.
And then how many classes you're going to run, and then how many people showed up. So it could be a super long night.
I've heard of a local track here potentially changing some of their rules on how they handle marshaling. They've talked about permanent marshals, where they pay people to marshal. They've talked about, since they only need 2 marshals, what they'll do is they'll take a mandatory 2 people out of that race the first round, and then the next round they'll take a different 2 people, so it splits up marshaling duties or whatnot.
Don't sound too bad.
So there are other ideas out there. I know here locally I raced the other day and down there hollering for marshals.
Right.
Come on.
Well, it needs to be enforced more, and coming up with better ideas, like what you just said. I mean, don't just accept the fact that you're going to sit there and keep yelling for them. Make them accountable.
I think their track promoters are so worried about making somebody upset and steering somebody away more than they're
Right.
worried about, the integrity of the whole overall situation, right? So
Right. I agree.
They're in a difficult situation because they got to make money.
Oh yeah. Gotta
They're
keep
not
the
going
doors
to try
open.
pissing people off and just steering them away. That's their mindset's completely different from a customer
Definitely.
versus a promoter
Right.
position, right?
Mm-hmm.
So-
nobody's getting rich on this, that's for sure.
Oh no! So every
know.
dime counts.
Yes.
There's fuel involved. There's just the timing system alone for most of these racetracks are $3,000.
Ouch.
I don't know if people do the research, but I've ran a racetrack. It's $3,000.
Yikes.
It's expensive. That's just the timing system. Probably had $6,000 to $7,000 invested in a racetrack when we built one.
And that's not even counting the hours of just free labor.
Labor.
Yeah.
So there's things factored in. There's a lot of time invested. So that doesn't help. And that leads to the dilution of people promoters always trying to please the racers. But what are you gonna do? It's their track to run,
Yep.
right?
Right.
So if you don't run a racetrack, you don't really have a place to tell them how to run their racetrack, right? So,
No, I still believe in it. I've been this way since the beginning. I mean, I've never really whined about what. I mean, I'm a racer, so of course I say some things about the track once in a while, as far as like I'd rather it be
Right.
this or that. But other than that, I don't complain about. I just show up, I abide by the rules, and I race, and I want to go home. I really don't like making a stink. If I do have something to complain about, usually I just do it with you in the garage here on Friday
Right.
or something.
right.
Now I do it here.
Wow.
Just show up and play, have fun. Don't contest the people's rules that they have set down. Don't contest the classes they have set down, because that's their, like you said, that's their rules. They can do
That's their
that.
rules.
Yeah. Yeah,
I will say the one thing popping up is too many classes. I think that plays right in the hand with promoters trying to please everybody. And is that they want to have a lot of classes. We'll just say more than
Right.
10. And that makes it very difficult, because do you want to show up to a racetrack where there's 3 to 6 people maybe in each class?
Right.
Not even each class. So say that you have, let's just say rough number, let's just say you have 12 classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to run 2 rounds, and then you're going to run mains. Okay?
Right.
And now out of those 12 classes, you had 3 guys show up for maybe 6 of the classes, right? The bare minimum just to run a class,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then say maybe you have a couple other classes that have maybe a barely more than that, right? So my point is let's just say your biggest class only has 8 guys, okay?
Well, everybody gets in the A main then.
Okay, everybody's a winner there, right? So everybody's happy. Everybody gets their picture taken because there's only 3 guys in your class. And you
Right.
raced, you didn't even challenge yourself. My point there is that is diluting, I think. I strongly believe we've talked about why things here locally have worked so well is because we run it like the Remember the Titans kind of deal. It's like 5 plays, right? So
Get the same ones.
yeah, man, you keep the classes limited,
Mm-hmm.
and that way you have more people in those classes, because not everybody can show up to race every race, right?
Right.
So now you can bank on that you're still going to have a good number of people to race, even when everybody doesn't show up.
And it makes for way better racing, because you also have like more guys running that same kind of class, so then those guys can talk to each other and get their cars all dialed in.
Yes.
They have more support there for that class, and like you said, it makes for more
Yeah.
oiled machine going on.
You have too many racetracks within a vicinity that don't communicate. That don't try to compromise on rules. If we say we try to improve the hobby, and then you got 5 racetracks within say 100 square mile radius, and they all got different rules, well, you're not going to promote a lot of traveling there.
No.
No, because guys are just going to pick one racetrack or another to appeal to what they can afford,
Definitely.
what they already have.
Yep.
So let's think about it. Let's try to communicate. This is just my little tidbit on how you dilute racing and stuff like that. So you're not going to make more money by having more classes. You're going to make more money by keeping it short and sweet. McDonald's didn't start off by giving you everything. They had a burger and fries, and a milkshake. That's what you got.
Yeah, as a promoter too, it'll save them money in the long run because they don't have to go get 15 trophies when they do have a trophy race.
And your show won't take 15 hours to run.
Yeah, there you go. Less heat you got to pump in the building or whatever it is.
If you had that many classes, you know how long it's going to take you to run all day. By the time you're screaming for marshals every round.
That's the big part, yeah.
Just something to think about. My two cents is tracks don't communicate enough and compromise on rules packages that could appeal to each other.
I think it's best for everybody in the long run.
Yeah.
You might lose a little at first, but you're going to regain it in the long run.
You're going to gain it because people are not going to. They're not going to go away.
Nope.
They're going to get. They're going to. You're in a hobby store situation, especially. This is your time to promote a deal.
Yep.
So that's just my 2 cents on the whole dilution of racing. Just how I think we get there.
Ooh.
I want to say
yes.
winter racing, November. We'll say winter because we didn't get a fall, so that's non-existent.
Nope.
November, got some big races coming up. RJD next week, November 8th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be... There's going to be some big heavy hitters at that event. There always is. Alex Fanning, Wolfman, I'm talking, you're going to have anybody who's anybody, Mike Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely going to have some animals there. And that's a pre-show, essentially now, to King of Wings.
Yep.
Which is actually kind of cool how that sets up.
Yep.
The surfaces, I think, are very similar. Would you think? Similar. I would say the dirt surfaces are similar. Especially when the groove comes in.
Yeah. I was going to say, by the end of the
night, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I know they changed their dirt. They're at PTs, so.
Right.
But King of the Wings, I was just checking entry list on that. Got some heavy hitters going to that.
Can't wait. Excited for that one. I don't get to go to RJD, but I do get to go to King of Wings, so
yes,
super excited.
So RJD, I'm gonna try making that one.
Yep, I'm excited to watch it on the phone and keep up with you guys and
try to do
see where you're running.
Yep, hopefully we put on a good show. Get some. The real show. RJD is always one you want.
Mm-hmm.
But King of the Wings is. This is going to be the 13th annual King of the Wings.
13th annual.
Anybody's wondering. And a lot of people have won this prestigious event. I know they posted the sprint car winners. There was Chris Shearburn on there, Jay Landholt.
Very impressive.
Fleur was on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got, dude, there's some animals in there.
The one guy was a 3-time.
Yeah. Shearburn?
Yeah, first guy you said.
Yeah, I was not fortunate enough to get to race with him, but from what I've heard is he was an absolute animal.
3-time, it shows.
Yeah. What he does now is I think he does iRacing on the NASCAR circuit.
Nice.
So, I guess that's
Hey, man, you can get into NASCAR doing that now, so.
Hey, if he was that good, you stay right where you're at, buddy. No, I mean that's a pretty prestigious race. I mean, we get people to travel from all over.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Hill comes up from Mississippi normally, which is a pretty far hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Max Fleur, he's from the East Coast.
I wasn't sure where he was from.
East Coast.
Okay.
And he travels far to come to that race, too. So,
Mm-hmm.
the Panda. Yeah, he's fast, dude. Let's see. King of the Wings. They got a few classes. That's going to be. That's going to be different being from an outdoor race to an indoor race. So that's going to be a huge swing. You guys get a chance, check that out. That's going to be going on November 15th
And 16.
and 16th.
Yep.
So, you guys want to hop online, follow that event. It's going to be a good show. I think they have live video. I think they might have live video. I would double check. I know RJD normally has live video. If you guys
Right.
want to check in, click in on that one. That's always a good event. The announcing is pretty good there. Really good people.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome garlic chicken pizza.
Oh, man, I'll miss that.
Yeah, that's so good. And you just burp the garlic all day.
Oh, yeah, especially the long car ride home.
Oh, man. And don't go into the bathroom after Wolfie.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
He's got me twice now. So I'm learning.
Bombed ya?
Yeah, I'm learning now.
He just smiles and laughs.
I'm going out behind a truck somewhere if
Yeah,
I see
bro.
him heading in there.
Don't even. Some guys.
Just kidding, Wolfie.
There's nothing worse than walking through the pits and you get bombed.
Oh,
You know what I mean? You're like, somebody pooped.
Man, you can only hold your breath so long when you're old like me. It ain't very long neither.
All right, who pooped? All right. We're going to roll into bearing talk.
Hot topic.
I just want to touch base on. We did what up? You had a bearing failure in your transmission. You went
Yeah.
racing. I wasn't able to go. Had family business, and you went out to go check out that new DB Raceway. Is it?
Yeah, I think it's Raceway, not Speedway. I think it's Raceway.
Okay. Yeah, look.
Sorry, Cody.
From the videos, it looked pretty decent, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of
lot of
fun.
moisture, a lot of. They got the track ready. Track looks smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like some good racing, but you had a misfortune there with your transmission. You had a failure in the bearing,
Yep.
right? I know money's been a little bit of a tight thing, and
Right.
so you try to preserve what you got for as long as you can, and you're not pinching pennies where you can. Well, all of us just can't afford to go drop however much money on bearings or whatever it is on new bearings. So I want to talk about that because you told me about your bad day.
Man,
Right.
I've actually never had that happen that bad. I've had, some idler gears go out on me
Right.
before, but
Not like that.
it destroyed the case.
It tore it up.
Yeah, it basically welded the bearing to the little aluminum shaft there.
Had enough.
Yeah, so, and I admitted it. It was my fault. I remember sitting there telling my wife I got the whole car ready to go, and, I was running a little short on time. Could I have got it done? Yeah, but I just made the decision, I'm going to try to get one more race out of it,
Yeah.
And I'll just let you know, there is one huge curse with me in a money race to that late model. I've never finished one money race, so it was 100% payback. So what do? Go out in the first round. So
Oh man. Need to get that new hot rod put together.
yeah. Well, I already sold the one kidney for the shirts, so
The other one's for the hot rod
yeah,
race cars. You're gonna
I'm gonna start taking experimental drugs.
starve yourself for the winter.
But no, I agree completely with you, man. People can do it on the cheaper, and
Definitely.
the points that were said are all valid.
Yes.
I agree with what was said about
Totally.
that, but I don't think it is bad enough to where you can't get a couple extra runs out of them.
No. As far as bearings are concerned, I used to do. I've done different types of racing. I've talked briefly about that, but I did some mini Z racing and stuff. And for people who don't know what that is, it's like 124 scale. They're little cars, and they race on like a foam track. Pretty darty, pretty fast, but fun, and very technical. I was going to my local hobby store at the time, and racing these Wednesday nights, and there's a lot of older guys there. And when I say older, I'm talking guys in their 80s.
Nice.
70s, 80s. These are old guys in there,
Getting it.
And man, they were whooping my ass. And that's when I learned my first bearing trick, which is the Ronin Sol lighter fluid. Comes in a yellow bottle, And he, one of the guys took me under his wing. He brought me over, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, this damn thing is nowhere near as fast as what you guys got going on. So, that's when I started learning about brush motors, and how they prepped and broke in their motors, and bearings. That was huge,
Right.
especially at that scale. So I learned the Ronin Sol trick, where I clean out the bearings, and then I would lube them with the Ronin Sol, because it's a 1% petroleum base, so it's actually a little bit of a lubricant in there.
Okay.
That bearing would spin just as good as a ceramic bearing.
Boom.
And I challenge anybody who doesn't believe me. I might be able to present that little trick on a little tech video maybe soon.
That just happened.
As far as pushing some of the bearings, it really just depends on what kind you're racing on,
Yes.
right? I mean, how bad
sure.
is the sand or the grit, the grime, how often are you cleaning them out? Because once there's debris and dirt that gets inside of those inner race, outer race, and start scarring some of that along with the sphere, the balls that are in there.
Yep.
Once you start feeling that grit, you're pretty much already heading down shit creek, right?
Definitely.
So, and that's so hard to avoid. Now, when you get a standard bearing in a sleeve, it's always really tight, right?
Yes.
I generally, it just depends on the situation. Sometimes I'll slap them things right in there. Sometimes I'll take the covers off, the dust shields off.
Right.
And I will be doing an instructional video about how I like to do this. I've learned over the internet myself. YouTube is a wonderful friend.
Mm-hmm.
Check us out on YouTube. We have some instructional videos. We'll be putting more on there. And this is going to be one of them. This is something that I learned, is that when I do my bearings, when I'm going to do, like when I did Chili Bowl, when I was prepping for that for bearings, I couldn't really afford to put $120 in bearings, ceramic bearings in my car.
Right.
If not more, right?
Especially because you run 3 cars.
Yeah, I couldn't afford that.
Right.
I can barely afford to go. So with doing this, I learned how to get a better spinning bearing, right? Maybe you don't get the longevity of a standard stock bearing,
Right.
but if it runs like a raped ape for a couple of races
It's
versus
worth it.
right, well, are you really saving any money? Well, you know what, I don't try to preserve my tires either. I try to use them, all of them. So with the bearings, I'll take that dust shield off. I'll actually clean all the standard lubricant out of there, blow them out with my air gun,
Mm-hmm.
and get all that debris out of there. And then I'll set each individual bearing out where it's dry, and then I'll lube them with the dust shield off of them, and then I'll put the dust shields back on there, give them all a good spin, slap those things back in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll do that, and then you're gonna have to clean your bearings, because there's no thick lubricant inside of there to block that ball from getting most of that grit in there right away.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're racing on more higher bike, cleaner dirt and stuff like that, that's probably going to be a better way to go.
Well, that's what's nice about Thunder Road. I've noticed
it's
that.
pretty clean.
Yeah. It's one of the tracks that just, I'm going to keep boasting our little track up here, but it is true. I went to...
Except when it's wet,
Well, yeah, a little muddy.
Yeah. That's any track, though.
Well, I agree with you on the stock, greasing them bearings. I don't do it quite like you do. I do it a little bit, well, just like I said, I use a CRC. It gets most of that out of there, and because the bearings spins way better after,
Totally.
because I didn't do it the last time because I was at the track, didn't have any my rear hub bearings went bad. I bought brand new ones, and I think I mentioned it to you how I got done with the day and went home, and the whole inner side of my hub with this purple like goo everywhere. You know, I was like, oh, that's nice.
All the grease came rolling right out of that thing.
Yeah, so I think, you know, with the kind of cars that we are running, like the hybrid, you know, race car, you know, the part is only expected to really perform a few times, you know.
Right. You know, some people can afford that. You know, a lot of these tips that we give people are not really meant for the guys that's been doing it for a long time. A lot of the tips that we give are meant for the oncomers, or some of the people that, you know, we talk to at, you know, multiple tracks about, you know, how they could barely afford to get what they got. You know what I mean? So this is those little things for them. That's those little nougats, as you say, for those customers.
Right.
You know, so they get a chance to maybe push the boundaries of, you know, older stuff that they have, because they can't afford to, you know, maybe go out and, you know, buy a bunch of bearings. And even though some of them aren't cheap, but that's one size.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, it's all definitely for the beginners in a way, because in a way we like, you know, we're just giving basically some of the tips that we got along the way to help us, you know, get where we're at. And it makes some people are a little shy about going up to the pros at a big race or you know, whatever. So we just kind of thought, well, hey, you know, we'll just pass them on here. It's pretty easy for you to check it out. We'll have some videos. We talk about it. I mean, it makes it easy for people to learn. So
Makes it way easier.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's our bearing talk for the day.
Oh.
A good little talk.
I know I wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a lot of info or anything, because I mean, it's just something I just noticed that this Motorama deal. I think I'm committing for next year already.
I'm definitely committing for next year.
Yeah.
We'll be attending.
Man. Sure.
You know.
It's if you are I mean, like for me, like even when my car breaks when I'm at an RC race, I still love to stand there and watch racing. So I'm just into racing, period. And they have everything here.
Everything
man.
for you.
I'm drooling all over the place.
No doubt.
So I didn't. That's really
Sounds like a good time.
yeah.
So.
I didn't have a whole bunch to say about it. It just sounds like they're doing a really good job out there, putting a really good show together, and yeah, I look forward to going next year.
Definitely hope that grows too. So. Tips and tricks. Got some. What do you wanna do?
Commercial?
Commercial.
What do you think?
Commercial.
That way I'll get your cool tunes ready for you.
All right, we can do a commercial. Let's do it. When we come back, we're going to do some tips and tricks. I'm going to talk about ride heights and some body mounting. So you guys enjoy this little tidbit, and we'll be right back.
You have been listening to the RC Circle Jerks podcast. We will be back in just a minute.
In a world where RC racers just can't stop breaking parts, only Riley Motorsports can save everyone from impending doom. Your tires, give them to me now!
But why would I trust you?
You must trust me. I am the Riley Motorsports Terminator of worn out and broken parts. Ask your mommy.
John, you can always rely on the Riley Motorsports Terminator to have what you need when Cyberdyne tries to ruin your day.
You must get to my trailer or online now, and you will be back.
And welcome back to the RC Circle Jerks podcast.
And welcome back, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hope you like them commercial announcements.
Oh, I love the commercials. I hope you guys really like that one.
Yeah. It must be time for the Zippy Guns, track tricks and track trips, y'all. Is that getting like an Irish accent into there or something?
Again, like an Irish accent. Yep, tips and tricks today. We're going to talk about a little bit about ride heights.
Important.
Yeah, important. If you're not checking your ride height, you ought to be. Ride height's very important. Keep your chassis. You need to have your chassis squared away as far as what you're trying to do. When people start cranking on them shock collars and putting a bunch of jack and, they're getting the car all cattywampus, and then they wonder why it don't work right. So, check your ride heights. I don't know if you're in Custom Works cars. There's a lot of setup sheets on there and give you standard ride heights, which really help. Popular car, and in most of those standard ride heights, I mean, they help.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure. They'll get you real close at least, and then you can massage it from there.
If whatever car you might have, if you go to that site, I don't care if you have I don't care what you have, Custom Works car, GFRP. If you message these guys and you ask for basic setups and stuff, you need to be writing that down, and you need to be taking that with a grain of salt.
Yep.
And you need to be asking the right questions, not just trying to be asking people questions because you want to talk to them or you want to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're going to sound like a goober? Sound like a goober. Ask the right question, though. If I do this, what is that going to do to the car?
Right.
You should have already read Matt's handbook, though, because if you haven't, you're wrong.
Well, and be prepared to this is a huge tip for somebody. Like I said, I'm learning all this myself and learning from these pro guys. So one of the best ways I think to approach them is say, hey, this is where I race. So be prepared to know your track, because if you can tell these guys that, then they can really get you super close to what the car will do there for you. I mean, if that's your local track is a loose dirt track or a high bite, or it's got a little bit of banking, or how many run lines does it have, or
Right.
How big is it, small is it? I think that's one of the best things you can have in your pocket when you go to these guys, to be confident and say, hey, this is what I got to go run on, man. My car's not doing it. My car's doing this. And there you go, and you'll get the answers you need.
Yes?
Sorry.
No, totally.
And pay attention to where the dirt is on the bottom of your chassis plate.
Yes.
Like you can see where the car hits. That was another thing I started really paying attention to. So, ride height,
Sometimes I like to really dig in on that right front, though. And I don't care. I let it
Drag brake.
let it drag. So ride heights, it's really important. You need to be keeping that standard ride height. So the point of the whole ride height thing is if you can keep your standard ride height, and say you get out on one particular situation where you feel, the car's a little loose, and you've put, so many cranks down on the left rear, well, don't start getting crazy where you're raising that point 3 or 4 mils.
Right.
At that point, you need to change your spring rate, and then reset your chassis height back to where you were at.
Definitely.
And that's going to give you the true adjustment feel. That's going to keep your car neutral instead of getting your car so far out to where you don't even know where neutral was.
I've been there.
Need to write it down. I don't scale my cars. I probably should, but I don't. I'm paying attention to my ride heights, and that's been key. So maybe I need to expand that portfolio, but I haven't.
And I know, like, when you're talking about the ride heights, when you started talking about it, it reminded me of another tip that you gave out on a different show, where you could go to, like, if you don't already have, like, some sort of really good flat surface. I remember the tip you gave out with going to, like, Walmart. You can get yourself a nice size cutting board. Or,
Yes, cheap.
something good and flat to where when you do your ride heights, it's a good surface for you to check it.
Yes.
I remember that was another tip you gave out. So
That's a good one. I've seen some other pretty neat things people got.
Yeah.
Marble. Somebody's got marble.
oh man,
Seen that was
that
pretty cool. That's about as flat as you're gonna get.
And we know Riley Motorsports has got some pretty cool pit mats there.
Yes, they do. Pit boards.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's important. I think it needs looked at. I know on my side, but ride heights are huge, guys. It's gonna get you so much closer. Get a car underneath you. Get pointed in the right direction. And you can start having some fun. You know, just this past weekend, I didn't really care where I fell at. It just meant so. It just meant so much to feel good about the car. I felt good with the car, right? Getting the car underneath of you.
That's what matters.
That's what makes you happy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It doesn't really. We're all fighting whatever your goal is. Everybody has different goals. Some guys are just trying to get out of the house for the day. You know, whatever it is. You know, I go to do well normally.
Well, sure.
But you know, everybody has a different goal. Whatever your goal is, though, you know, that's gonna help you get there. Having a car underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
So, body mounting. I'm gonna roll right into that.
Okay.
I've been experimenting with some different bodies in the late model division, and just body mounting position on the chassis.
Mm-hmm.
Same chassis, you know, switching bodies at the same racetrack, the same day, same tires, you know, trying to keep a really true test. And by doing that, I think I've stumbled upon something.
Uh-oh.
It's key, and if you pay attention on some of the setup sheets that you might see, you'll see mounting location numbers. And the reason they write those down is because the way the downforce is applied to the body and how that affects the chassis.
Mm-hmm.
So your aero downforce and your mechanical downforce, right, or your mechanical grip of the car, it changes. And if you have a body mounted too far back, then you're going to have a dump truck. You have the body mounted too far forward, then you're going to have a car that's nose happy. It's not going to have any rear grip, so there's no balance.
Yeah, get that balance. Yeah.
Balance. You want a car good in, you want a car good out, good neutral.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want too far one way or another. That's a perfect race car, right?
I think so.
So, I think you need to really focus on how far forward or how far back you mount your bodies, and the position side to side that you mount your bodies.
Yeah, the tire, the little line they put for the tire wheel is not necessarily always where you want to put it. So
No. And I've learned. It's cost me some money.
Yep.
So those are the tricks that we have. Tips and tricks for the day.
Yeah, man. It looks like you just got your tricks and your tips from Zippy Gone.
Oh yeah. All right.
That was awesome.
You dig?
I'm digging it.
All right.
Do it. Whoa.
Do it. All right.
All right. So I guess I want to go ahead and talk about this trophy girl thing again.
Oh.
I'm really hoping that Tom and Paul are listening and
Tom and Paul, PT's King of the Wings, Trophy Girls.
be the first to do it.
Be the first.
You know, to be your first annual race there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I think it needs to happen. But so I noticed it was pretty cool. Actually, made me kind of smile and made me laugh a little bit. But Ruth Motors Racing put up a little poll about it after we said something about it on their last live show.
Yes.
And I don't know how that ended up, but I noticed in the beginning there, it looked like most everybody else was digging this idea.
Yes, they were.
So I want to keep this going. This is something I don't want to. I think somebody's got to start this. I mean, it's a good idea. It'll be fun. Again, it doesn't have to be girls in bikinis, or anything of that nature. It's a trophy person. We just put it that way. It could be whatever. just somebody to do it. I think it'd be cool. They could hold the car for somebody or whatever like that. But have fun with it. I think that's cool. Again, I'd like to see the end of that poll. I don't know if it ended. I kind of tried to look for it before we got on here tonight, but couldn't find it. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope everybody helps out with that. Let's get this going. Trophy girls, trophy girls.
Trophy girls.
Gotta have me. Well, I remember I said trophy person, I guess so. But for me, it'd be a girl if I could pick. People will be like bringing their dogs. I'm a trophy dog. Too fun.
You know, real quick, if we could touch base, I know I wanted to talk about something real quick. If anybody gets a chance, I know everybody's so good about charity, and I just want to talk about something that's a little bit important to one of our good friends.
Let's hear it, brother.
So, Matt Murphy, he did this thing with McAllister Racing and Kyle Strickler, and they got some giveaway items and whatnot that they're having, and it's a fundraiser that if you guys can get over there and check them out over Matt Murphdog Murphy, or if you go over McAllister, you can get entered into this thing. There's information at for one at a time. This thing is solely Matt really likes to help people out. He's a pretty charitable person, and he only does this for things that are really important to him. So you guys can check it out over at campaign oaat.org. Donations can be sent to PayPal, friends and family, to murphdog@yahoo.com. PM him with any questions you might have. This is it's for that one at a time nonprofit charity organization. Special thanks to Kyle Strickler Motorsports, McAllister Racing, 4-4 Custom RC Graphics, and Talent in a Bottle. And they have some awesome prizes over there. So get over there, check them out. And it's really cheap, guys. $10 donations. You can get 10 spots for $100, and there's no limit. So get over there and check them out, and win yourself some cool prizes.
Very cool.
Right?
That's pretty neat.
So that's important. As we're talking on our podcast, we have some breaking news.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. There's an update from PT RC Raceway.
Okay.
For King of the Wings.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh. All right. You're hearing it here first, folks. All right. The King of the Wings Race 2019. We have been dealing with the city of Bloomington on a zoning issue for some time and thought we had it all straight by now, but it's not going to happen. With that being said, they're still running King of the Wings. However, we will be hosting it at RJD Hobbies in Lincoln, Illinois.
Whoa.
Game changer there.
Wait, I should have did a different deal. It should have been...
That's the bombshell.
Man.
They said special thanks going out to B and Daryl. B and Daryl are awesome.
Yes,
people,
they are.
By the way.
Definitely.
We can't say enough good things about that place.
Mm-hmm.
They're allowing them to have that awesome event at their facility. Same dates and formats, just at RJD, so everything's the same.
Mm-hmm.
But at RJD.
Wow, so basically it is going to be a warm-up race now next weekend.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
That's a little bit of a game changer.
Whoa.
So, people, prepare yourself for this. They said they will have their program running as soon as they get past the zoning issues. Sorry for any inconveniences, but they believe it will be one hell of an event. So,
oh yeah.
P.S. RJD Hobbies is running this weekend annual Dirt Oval event, and we already talked about that. So 2 of them at the same place, so that's definitely going to be a warm up. So anybody listening to this podcast, you heard it.
Big news. Man, that's hot off the presses.
Right off the press. So
Right.
that's a game changer for me.
Yeah, well, definitely for me now, for sure, because I don't get to go to RJD, so I don't get that warm-up race.
We never know. We might be able to change that for you.
Oh, boy. Racing is such an addictive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe we'll change that. We'll see. So,
Yeah, that's huge.
it is huge. Huge. So,
Wow. Man. You're going to get the good pizza 2 weeks in a row now. Man. That is a really cool place, man. They got, plenty of pitting. They got some cool pitting out right by the track. The driver stand's super tall. I love that. I know, some people don't. Some people do, but cool place, man. It really is.
it is a cool place.
Well-ran show. They're on the money. They got, man, every time they got you in and out of there, as quick as they can. So,
Dude, do you want to hear some of the people going to this King of the Wings race?
yeah, let's do it.
You know what? Just while we're on here real quick, we've got the mod sprint. And this is just for people saying that they're going already. And there are some other people I know that are going that aren't on this list. So
Okay.
just listen to some of these names, okay? You got Paul Bomstead, right? Rick Putnam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rich Nordholm is going to be in the sprint car.
That's, man, I can't believe the Godfather.
The Godfather's going to be in a sprint car.
That's too cool.
You got Wolfman,
There
who's
you
an
go.
animal.
Ooh.
Milton Height, animal. Dude, Dan Mickles, fast. Jason Mallett. Ray Barrett,
Oh,
all the way
nice.
up there from Mississippi.
Yeah, be
Long
good to see
traveler,
him.
all the way up to Illinois. Zach Gokin, who's been an animal.
Oh man,
You
he'll be a
got
threat.
Fanning is going to be there,
Definitely a threat.
right? You got Mike Murphy Jr.,
Oh yeah.
Eugene Ryder, who's always an animal.
There you go.
Catch this one. Doug Gott,
Oh,
going to be in-house.
yeah, and he's fast.
And you know he's fast.
Yeah, he is.
Justin Mallett, Jason Van Heist, CJ Greaves is going to be in-house.
All right, cool.
He's racing. Brian Laurent,
Oh,
he's
there.
been hot here lately, right?
Man,
So those are all just guys registered for the mod sprint class. Okay, and we like talking about we'll talk about a couple other ones here. 10 scale late model. You got some of the same guys. I mean, you got Wolfman, Milton, you guys from Galesburg, Brogan, Jake
The
Berg.
Bro
Those
Show.
guys have been fast. Ray Barrett signed up for Gokin. We got the Hulk Jags over here.
I love that.
Signed up in here.
I like that. Thanks, guys. That's cool.
My Mike Murphy, he's in it. Doug Gott signed up for late model. I've been wanting to race him in late model for a while, so that's kind of like
Yeah.
I have a ton of respect for that guy. So it'd just be cool to go out there and shake it down with him. Eugene Ryder's going to be in there. Jimmy the Banker McGuire, that guy's always fast. You've been a King of Wings, you know who Jimmy is.
Yeah.
CJ signed up in late model.
Awesome.
I'm sure he wants some redemption.
Oh yeah.
Right, he kicked our butt in Limestone.
Yes, he did.
But he's always fast. He adapts fast, and I wanted to say that about him.
He's a racer.
I've noticed that he might not show up and just have it figured out right away, but he adapts fast. That kid, I mean, his real racing shines down onto his RC racing for sure, because he definitely knows how to read a track. He pays attention, and he might be all smiles, but he wants to win too, and I love that.
Always
He's
there in the
competitive.
end.
Always
there in the end.
So you got those guys signed up for late model. That's not even everybody signed up for late model. Midwest Mod going to be debuting. So happy to see this class finally come to an Illinois track.
For sure.
And just Midwest in general, it's been really hard for this class to get going. And I think with these new bodies coming out, and I think we might be able to get the proper push. It's really good racing. I think it's a good alternative to the SC mods. Guys not wanting to run SC mod, you want to slow it down a little bit. These things still rip. But
Oh, yeah.
I know it's opening up on motor, but it's all what you can put down. You don't really need any more than a 10.5 or 8.5.
Right.
Right, you don't need any more than that. So if you're using more than that, you got too much. And note, guys, in that class, you got, Putman's going in there, Demler. Murphy Jr. is going to be actually wheeling a Midwest mod.
Man.
Doug Gott's going to be wheeling one. Anthony Galindo. I didn't even see him on Sprint. Is Galindo on Sprint? Yeah, Anthony Galindo's in the mod Sprint. That kid's an animal.
Yeah.
Brian Laurent, the Midwest mod. See, some of these guys transitioning over. SE mod class. Rick Putnam, he's been really good. Gerald Deathridge has been an animal in there. Zach Gokin, he just actually won.
Yeah, won
Thunder
a
Run point series.
Yeah.
Alex Fanning, he's just hard to beat in an SE mod right now. Doug Gott's also in that class. Russ Molinex, he's in a couple of these other classes. He's fast.
Mm-hmm.
When he's on, he's on. Jason, he's in Van Heist. He's in there. Michael McGee. Dean McGee's going to be hard to beat in there, too. Brian Laurent's going to be tough. That mod class is going to be a lot of fast guys.
I can't wait to watch that one.
I mean, you got some slash mod, non-wing. That's probably going to be a good race. You got Bombstad in that one. You got Denver, Barrett. Ray Barrett's going to run that one. Jimmy McGuire, the banker. So you got a couple of really good guys in there. So, and from different places. I like how they're asking where everybody's from and stuff. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you guys get a chance. I know we'll probably definitely have video now for both.
Yeah. Yep. Boy, that wasn't that's some seriously breaking news, but I was hoping they put up there that just announced we will have trophy girls.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, that's for sure.
Wow.
That's big.
So is it still open on Friday to the...
I'm sure they're probably still getting all the super details worked out.
Okay. Well, that's a game changer, folks.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
I'm not sure about that. What do you think?
Really not sure about that. I mean, we can talk about it. I don't really care.
Yeah?
We talk about stuff people don't want to talk about. You want me to say it? I'll say it.
Well.
I'm sure there's a lot of auction stuff out there right now.
Yeah, been noticing a lot.
Right?
Yep.
But, I don't know. I want people to forget that they need to be going to their local hobby store once in a while, too. Because if you don't, not going to be around.
Yeah, I mean...
Not going to have racetracks at hobby stores.
Right, and listen, I mean, I think it's awesome. We're not, seriously, the auction thing is awesome. It's cool that somebody can win something pretty cool for, $10-20 or whatever.
Yeah.
But just keep it in mind, don't oversaturate it, because like he said, I mean, ultimately, your local hobby shop would love to have that gentleman's whatever money that car costs or whatever it was. So
Right.
yeah,
Well, unless you're buying it from that local hobby store and then auctioning it off, I guess you're helping, right?
Yeah, you're getting one car sold instead of, but if you got 50 some spots in your drawing, what do you got? Maybe let's just say 20 guys who buy multiple spots.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Maybe.
So that's 20 guys that don't go buy, or it'll be 19 because you bought one,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nothing serious or nothing. I don't want to, don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but it's just something I noticed, and they're popping up everywhere. So
There are a lot of them. There's nothing wrong with them, I guess.
we do our best to support, like you said, our local hobby shop.
Yes, we try to.
and
That's all I buy my stuff from now.
I mean, the online stuff has already put a big hurt on the hobby shop, as it is.
Yes, it has.
So that's all. We were just want you to mind that next time,
Yeah.
So that was all.
Nothing bad.
No, I hope not.
Potential hot shoes coming in. I know with these RJD and King of the Wings, that's kind of going to solidify who's kind of getting heated up as they progress and prepare for the Chili Bowl of 2020. And that, it's just for the Midwest in general anyways. I mean, obviously you heard there's some heavy hitters coming there, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes down. Doug Ott, he's one of those guys. He's going to get it figured out, and you got Alex Fanning and some of these really high, heavy hitters. Wolfman's been extremely fast for months now, and he's just had some terrible luck.
Right. Especially in the sprint.
Yeah, and his sprint has been ballistic fast, and he's got that thing figured out. And if you, I'm telling you right now, if you sleep on him, he'll make you pay for it.
The wolf will strike.
Right now his sprint's hot, and I think he's got a good enough sprint to go after Alex. Predictions. I'll start making predictions for the Chili Bowl as we start getting a little bit closer. I'm going to tell you King of the Wings is going to be pretty hard. Alex is going to be really tough to beat. Mike Murphy is going to be really tough to beat. They've got to be extremely difficult to beat. You have some other people that know this track very well. Eugene Ryder is always going to be an animal.
Yeah, he's fast there.
He's always fast there.
Yeah.
So Dan Mickle has really improved extremely well. Milton Height has been getting his program together. The Kleibers have really started making an advancement.
They've been working
that's just
hard.
mod sprint.
Right.
Alex Gokin's been pushing it, and you don't know who else is going to be showing up late. I have a feeling there's going to be some other Custom Works guys showing up. That's just my hunch. I feel.
It's very cool.
And hopefully I can shake down with some of those boys in there.
I hope to be somewhere in there myself, sir.
So and then we get in the late model. That's going to be interesting. We arguably got some of the fastest late models in the country, and we're willing to put our money where our mouth is, or at least our remote where the track is, and figure it out.
Yeah, 'cause I don't got no money.
No, we're all broke. So
We're racers.
we'll race you though. And I mean, it's cool to really. It's cool to see some of these guys from far out really coming and pushing this historical race to another year.
Yep.
Right. And this whole transition with PTs having problems with some zoning, and then another track stepping up, communicating, helping each other out, saying you can go ahead and use my track. So what we were talking about a little bit earlier is cool to see. It's going to be a hard race. Late models are going to be difficult. It always is one of those difficult races. It's a prestigious race because of how difficult it is. And like I said, those people that travel from outside, when they come in, they're bringing the heat.
Yeah, they are.
Right? And you're really going to see who's got what.
Right away, too.
So that's going to be a hard one. I think, obviously, Dremeyer could be showing up. You don't know. Dremeyer might show up for that show.
Yeah, he might. Be good to see him.
I'd like to see him. And, if he shows up, I'm just going to say, Mike Murphy's going to be odds-on favorite probably to win late model.
Yeah.
Right? And not if we got anything to say about it. But odds-on favorite, probably, right? Wolfman's going to have his on lockdown. Dremeyer shows up, he's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be tough to make the B main probably in late model. C main. It's going to be tough to make the frickin' D main in the mod sprint.
Probably,
If you're in the D main, you're probably in there with some animals.
Yep.
The one bad round can mean the night. SE mod, it can go any way. I think Alex is probably going to be... I haven't seen Doug run, but I'm going to tell you right now, Alex, Zach, and Michael McGee, don't give him enough credit.
Right. He'll be
Don't
there.
go to sleep on him either.
No, he'll be there.
It's going to be a tough race for a lot of guys, but I think these prodigies are going to be hard to beat on that surface. I'm going to be honest with you.
Probably.
And Alex has got his rolling. So that's just my little projections.
Hey, I heard today Brian Wirtz is from Limestone. He's coming too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So that's a big name out of that house.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see him too.
Yes. So we got people from different surfaces coming in. It's a prestigious event. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. King of Wings. A lot of big names, a lot of heavy hitters have raced this event. You want to talk about the Chili Bowl? Well, on that list of races, King of Wings. There's obviously February Freeze, and there's some other huge events for Dirt Oval.
Right.
On the East Coast to, the West Coast. There's races that have been around for a while. We want to keep those going. King of Wings is kind of important to us. So
Definitely.
if you haven't heard about it, check it out. Put it on your list. One of those races.
It's coming up.
Check us out.
On your house.
On your house. I'm going to go ahead and, what do you got?
Really, I mean, I just wanted to kind of remind people, we've kind of brought this up before, and just something else I noticed the other day, just reminding one of people, if you are looking at selling something online at one of these sites or something, or you just want to sell it at the track or whatever, take the extra time to clean it up. I mean, I'm sure you're like anybody else that's selling something. You want as much money out of it as you can get. So clean it up. I mean, it doesn't have to be immaculate even. Just, clean the thing. And it goes with the same thing if you're going to borrow something. I'm just, come on, man.
Yeah, clean it up, man. I don't want to buy something that's all dirty. Tires are all dirty. That just tells me right now, you take care of your stuff like Dookie.
Right, which makes you probably not want to buy it.
I don't want something's half fucking, blown out anyways.
Right.
That's not going to appeal to me. So clean your stuff up. Take a little time.
Yep.
It's worth it.
It'll sell quicker, and you'll get more money out of it. And don't return stuff to your buddy if you borrow from him. That's another just friendly tip.
Friendly tip.
That's all. I just, just the little things.
All right, guys, we're going to give you a little commercial here late, and then we'll be right back. What do you think of that?
I'm into it.
You into it? Well, we can do that. And then I'll give you guys a little quote I stumbled upon, and it was a little medicine for me. So we'll see where we go with that, and then try to end the show here. All right?
Yep.
You have been listening to the RC Circle Jerks podcast. We will be back in just a minute.
Hello.
Hey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm practicing.
What are you practicing for over there?
I've been practicing to go down to Inside Line Speedway in Robinsonville, Mississippi.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me more.
They're presenting the Delta Bowl. That's on January 17th. That's going to be a practice day. Doors open at 8 a.m. and practice ends at 8 p.m.
Man, that sounds like a really good time.
Whole day of it.
Really?
You can come back the next day, January 18th, and the doors open at 6:30 a.m., driver's meeting at 8:30 a.m., and racing at 9 a.m.
Whoa. Do they have food down there?
We think so, and hope so. We'll say that.
How's their facilities?
Facilities are great. They just put in some new ones. They got plenty of pit tables, plenty of chairs for you provided. And this is an inside facility, so the track's always good. And there is one little thing. You got to have DE tires only, so you might want to check their rules. Make sure that you got everything set up for this. And the classes are going to be SC Mod, Sprint, Open Late Model, Crate Late Model, 13.5 Blinky in them, Street Stock, 13.5 Blinky, Novice Open Tire Slash, which is based off of, or anything similar to it, Midwest Mod, 10.5 Blinky.
All right.
So-
That's a lot of classes.
There you go.
Got something for everybody there.
That's why I've been practicing. So it's January 17th, January 18th. Get on down to the Delta Bowl at Inside Line Speedway. And it don't matter how you get there, but just get there.
And welcome back to the RC Circle Jerks podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed that commercial break. Make sure you check out the Delta Bowl.
Yes, check it out. Good track.
Yeah.
Fun track. Change their driver stand, didn't they? But yeah, good track, fun track. Dirt's different. I always have fun when I go there. So.
Plenty of motels, food joints around.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Waffle House.
Oh. Man, I just had chicken and waffles for the first time over this past weekend.
Changed his life.
It's definitely a new dish to the Scott family.
Yeah. Did you use syrup?
Oh, yeah.
You better believe you did.
Oh, man.
And it was amazing, wasn't it?
I'm in.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. I think we had a little, well, you put a post out there, and besides RC racing, with some other things people like to partake in, and it was actually pretty neat.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep. I was really surprised, and I really appreciate everybody commenting and putting that up there, and just kind of, maybe want to go over a few of them that, because I think it's pretty neat. Well, I'm going to start with Brad Noon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed this. I don't think the dude ever sleeps.
Nope.
Guy's got what was it, 6 things? 6 hobbies besides RC?
He's always doing something.
And then he's got, how many cars does he race in RC? 4, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. And he stays in shape.
I know. And he does podcast stuff too.
Yeah.
I think he's Superman.
He probably is Superman.
So when I wrote it down, that's all it says. He never sleeps.
He
So
never sleeps.
I'm jealous, Brad. I don't know how you do it, buddy.
Yes.
And we had a lot of people, had some of the same hobbies as us, was like the camping,
Yes.
like Zach Gokin. He likes to do the kayaking out in the lake and just hanging out with his friends. I'm right there with that, man. I could do that all day.
Yes.
My favorite one was, I don't know how it worked out this way, but, I had that pretty cool little picture on there, and the man himself actually commented. I don't know how that works, but he says, it's like, if you want to do some traveling and drinking some bourbon, well, then Bob Ross is your man. Thought that was pretty cool. And then we got a couple local guys, like Sean Janan.
Yep.
I mean, another guy that's super busy. I don't know how he does it, man. I mean, he's got his podcast, RC Fun Time. Well, it's not a podcast. It's more like a live Facebook thing, I think.
Yes.
It's more like that. He's got his Team Just for Fun, and he's a firefighter. I mean, he does
Track promoter.
Yeah, he's helping with the track now. But what he put on there was that he's enjoying working on his son's first car with him. So
Yes.
that's the ultimate there. So
El Camino.
yeah, man, that's a nice little car.
Mm-hmm.
We could put up some pictures of it and stuff.
Yep.
It looks like Tyler Johnson. He said, I'm going to call him a track prep master. He was out there
Yeah.
prepping a real track. I thought that was very neat.
Sheep's foot in there.
Yeah, thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Ford, he looks like he wants to get on the Hot Rod Power Tour.
Yes.
And he does some skydiving too. I think that's
Brad Noon's done that.
Oh man, I don't know about all that.
Power tour.
Oh, I thought you meant skydiving.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He's done everything else.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Jake Martins, another local guy here. He likes riding his dirt bike, and that's all he put up there. But I know he's having a lot of fun working on that property of his out there. And doing a good job out there on that. Man, let's see who else we got here.
Home of the original Rock River Raceway.
Oh, the memories.
The real Rock River Raceway. Oh, man.
Had a pond right next to it with some the goldfish in it.
Not a river.
Yeah, river on the other side. Man. Well, I'm going to move on from that because we'll start
There's some
crying.
positive news you got there.
Rick Putnam, he likes to skydive, base jumping, jiu-jitsu, and hockey.
Okay.
But then he follows it up with, watching it on TV. So I thought that was pretty funny, Rick. that was pretty cool, buddy.
It's funny.
And then I was going to say this. I kind of put this down. I thought this was pretty cool. If you have like a fridge that needs moved or some super sort of heavy object needs moved, then you got to get a hold of Shane T. Ruth. He just puts on there. He likes lifting heavy things. So looks like he's like a power lifter of some sorts. And man, I'm impressed by that because like I put on there, I can only lift a 12-ounce can. So
I limit myself.
Like I said, we had a lot of hunters come in too. So Jesse Schroeder, he loves to hunt, fish, camping, golf. And you mentioned this name earlier, Dan Mickle. He likes to get his groove on. I'm not sure if he plays the blues or just likes listening to it, but
Cool.
he put the blues music up there. And he fish and hunts too, you know. And oh man, oh, you got Mark Bryant. I thought that was really neat. He put up his saltwater tanks. That's very impressive. I've always wanted one of those, you know.
I do like those.
Yeah. So that's about it, man. I mean, some more hunters, you know. Larry Howard likes to hunt. Yeah, there's a couple other on there, but yeah, the game's on, so Dallas Giants. So I think that was it.
He said, "I'm winding down now."
Yeah.
As we digress out of this, I came across a quote, and it hit me, made me think a lot, and it's something that I want to try following a little bit more. So I want to share it with everybody else. I can't take credit for this quote, but it's a quote from Paul Brown, and it goes as such. When you win, say nothing. When you lose, say less.
Very nice.
Yeah. I think that's what makes great champions, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Nobody's going to discredit how passionate everybody is about this, and I think I myself get and it's not like I'm throwing remotes and stuff like that or anything like to that extent. You know what I mean?
Right.
But never, but just in general, you know, things I see at the track and even personal experiences, I should just, you know, don't hang your head at all. Don't, you know, should always be smiling, and just be humble. You know what I mean? You don't need to be holding up your hands that are number one, or, you know, whatever it is. You can be proud, and you can smile, and give it to Walter Payton. You know?
No matter what, just remember you're going to be able to come back and try it again.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, I guess as being part of a champion is, yeah, you won, or you got second, you got third, whatever it may be. Some guys are just excited about their day they had with their car.
Mm-hmm.
But what about that guy over there that really didn't have a good day? You know what I mean? Be hollering and shouting to the crowd, and you know what I mean?
Right.
It's okay to be a little excited. I myself gave a hoot and holler for some big races or something. You know what I mean? That's okay. I think that's okay. But that's just a pretty cool quote, and just not saying any of us are. That's gonna be so hard. That's so hard to follow when how passionate some of us are. So. Just as a cool quote. That's what I really thought.
Yep.
Kids around. We have a lot more kids around the track. I myself find myself trying to watch my mouth a little bit more at the track, especially with the kids. So
You have to.
yes,
And it is hard from time to time, that's for sure.
it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like it.
we're gonna head out of here, guys. We hope you enjoy your races, whatever you guys got coming up.
Yep.
Hopefully we got some good luck coming our way.
Hopefully.
And well,
I want to say thank you to Inside Line Raceway. And like I said, make sure you check out the Delta Bowl. And also Riley Motorsports for coming on board with us. We appreciate that.
yes, we do.
They have everything you need to keep your game on point. So check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you know I posted it, but get on our YouTube channel now, and you can listen to all of the audio programs. Also, we will have any other videos up there. We got playlists set up. All you gotta do is click on them and check it out. I think that's going to ultimately be the coolest part we got going right now, because it's all in one place. So I mean,
One stop.
but
shop.
you can still go and listen to the audio parts, like I said before, on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play Music. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's it, man. I think it's time to hopefully watch the Cowboys win. They're already losing, so
Ugh, that's not good.
thanks everybody for the support too with the t-shirts, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate.
Yep.
All right.
Out.
Circle jerk!